So welcome to my hallway. It occurred to me after talking to one of our subscribers that maybe some of you are following along from a more narrow space. I know aero rigs are expensive and they take up a lot of room. We can't always hang something safely from our ceilings either. So today I am rigged up safely with a chin-up bar in my hallway, and it's going to be a full body stretch from a low flow. So I want you to hang your hammock to the middle to upper region of your shins, and I'm hoping we can get creative from a smaller space. So get your hammock set, and I hope you enjoy this one. For those of you who might have knee sensitivities, you might just want to have a towel down for a little extra padding for your knees. We're going to begin in a child's pose. Fabric is behind you, toes together and knees wide. Arms could extend out in front of you, or my preference, stacking the fists and resting the forehead. Close your eyes. Try to pull in a deeper breath. And exhale, try to get heavy in your body. And just to relieve any extra tension, just let the head gently rock from side to side, either on the floor or your fists. Soften to the jaw and the muscles in your face. Coming back to center. Breathe in. And gently sigh it out. Once more. And roll your way up. Bring that fabric in front of you. Holding it in front just like a little bar, extend forward. Now as you come forward, try not to just hang in your joints. Actively push down into the fabric. Gently pull your hands in opposite directions. Inhale. And on the exhale, pull the ribs in. Try to continue to extend the hands away and let those hips drop back towards the heels. Looking down, you want to lengthen your neck. And I realize we're in a tight space, but if you'd like to just do a little rock from side to side. Sink at center. Begin to pull that fabric a little further apart. Breathe in. Exhale, roll your way up, curl the tailbone under. And then as you come forward, I want you to bend your right and lengthen your left. See if you can take this into a little side bend. Reach all the way across. Keep the gaze down long through the back of the neck, and then slowly transition to the other side. Bending left, extending right. Side to side. And since I'll be facing you for most of our time together, I'll focus on mirroring, so it looks like we're moving in the same direction. One more to each side. Sink a little deeper at center, arms extend away. Breathe in. Exhale, roll your way up. Left hand is going to hold on. Come forward again. Put your right hand on your right thigh. And as you punch forward with your left, try to rotate to the right. So I'm pushing my hand into my leg, which is helping me spiral across. Look underneath that right arm. See if you could feel your left trap. Chin tucks in. And roll up. Right comes through the middle, left presses into the thigh. Look to the left as you sink down. Focus on your twist. Feel that right side lengthen. Chin tucks in. And up. All right, hips to one side, swing your legs around. Fabric will come right, to the shoulder blades, feet out in front. Come to what feels like your plumb line. Hands behind the head, arch over your fabric. Right, so we're right behind the shoulder blades. Take a moment to really emphasize the arch in the upper back. Breathe in, and on the exhale, C-curve up. By that I mean press the tailbone into the ground, draw the navel in, and push your back into the fabric. So really hollowing out the front body. Inhale, open. I want you to think of exaggerating what it feels like to do cat-cows over your fabric. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl and come up. Really press into your fabric. Inhale, open. And last time, exhale, come up. Continue to hold the head with just the right hand, left arm extends, and begin to arch over your fabric. Just lengthen through the side body. Rising up, switching hands, extending through the right, nice and slow, arch back. And roll your way up. Bring the fabric up and over again. We'll take this into a wrist wrap, so hands through the middle and around. Legs extend out in front of you. Just rock back and forth, try to get out from underneath those sit bones, and extend as far forward as you can with your arms and your heart. And I want you to try a point and a flex of the feet. So as you're doing this, you're alternating your two sides, and as you point, you're going to try to drag that hip forward, and as you flex, you're going to try to pull the hip back. So I can actually feel some movement underneath me on my mat from the back of my leg and my hips. Keep reaching the heart forward. This is actually really good for sciatica. Next time you flex your right foot, right? So left is pointed, right is flexed. Hold on to your fabric with just the left hand. Right hand can come either to the doorway. I like the floor. I'm going to push into the floor with my hand, looking over the right shoulder, and extend the left arm away from you. I want you to try to feel the bottom of the leg, but also you may be targeting IT band on the right side. Nice active toes on the right foot. Slow release. Let's come back into our wrist wrap. Outside and around the middle. Coming forward. Point your right, flex your left. Come as far forward as you can go. And then release just your left hand. Rotate into your twist. Look over that left shoulder. Breathe and reach further. And roll up. All right, now we're going to take it into one of my favorite sequences. We'll start with the right, so bring your right foot into the fabric. Left leg will bend. You want the foot towards that inner right thigh. So I'm going to pivot just a little bit so I can reference you. Flex your foot, hold the fabric with both hands. Pull it towards you. You're sitting nice and tall, and try to shorten the distance between your belly and thigh. Right, so I want to walk in as far as I can. Make sure your foot is nice and flexed, and then when you're ready, drop the eyes, look in. Right, so if you look in with your eyes, you will feel more. Just gently engage the muscles in your right leg. Come up halfway. Making a little transition, so continue to hold with just the right. And see if you can tuck your right elbow or shoulder on the inside of the leg. Adding a rotation, Left arm is going to slide up the fabric as high as you can get it. And take this variation of revolve Jaranusasana. Remember, we want to keep the foot flexed. Our goal here is to breathe and try to expand through the left lung. Whichever direction you want your gaze to soften through the muscles in your neck. One more breath. And then nice and slow. Come back into your initial fold. Foot is flexed. If you want to try to go a little deeper, hold on with just the left. And similar to what we did in our previous stretch, I'm going to push into the floor to try to rotate further. And again, this is more of that IT band work. Fold in. Try not to reach with your chin. Right? You want to look down and in with our eyes. One more breath. Nice and slow on the rise. All right. I want you to bend the right leg. Personal favorite of mine. So this is a pigeon variation, figure 4. Come through your little window. You're right underneath that plumb line. Now to deepen this, we can put a little bit of pressure on the knee. That might be enough depending on the height of your hammock. I like to put a little bit of pressure on the sole of the foot or into the heel, and you might notice you go a little bit deeper. Try to send your body weight forward and just get heavy. Last couple breaths if you want to explore some rotation. I'm going to take the right elbow to the right sole of the foot. You can prayer, or I like to do one fist and one palm. See if you can add a little bit of rotation. Still try to drop your right knee down. If you're not feeling it more, then just go back to where you were, but you may find something new here. One more breath. And nice and slow for the release. Come through. Leg will extend. We're going to take a second pigeon variation. I want you to pivot into your bent knee. Flipping us around to upward pigeon. Actively press into the fabric. Chest is lifted. Navel draws in. Try to get into that hip flexor. Hip pushes towards the ground, so I want to roll down as we lengthen the crown up. Welcome to my bedroom. And yes, I have way too many pillows on my bed. For whatever reason, it makes me very happy. If you want to go deeper, turn and look over the opposite shoulder. Keep that pressure into the fabric. Now you can stay here. This is where I'm tight in my body, so I would maybe want to stay lifted if I had my own personal practice. You can also come down into your sleeping pigeon, stack the fists to rest the forehead. Try to keep the hips square towards the ground. Slow rise up. Drop your hips to one side, swing back around. Unravel with those legs. Second side. Right foot is on that inner thigh. We want a nice flex. Sit up nice and tall and begin to pull yourself in. Right? So our goal here is Folding in half. I say it all the time, but I see it done wrong all the time as well. So if I say something, chances are it's because I see it done wrong a lot. Keep the foot flexed and in with the eyes. On your exhale, just feel your body getting a little heavier. And up. Getting ready for our revolved variation. So tuck the elbow to the inner thigh. So left elbow's on the inside. We want to take the right hand, slide it up the fabric as high as it can go. Come back into your fold. Remember, we want a nice active flex foot. Decide where you want your gaze. Deepen the breath in, feel it in your left lung. And nice and slow. Come all the way back. Pull yourself in. Option for that little tug on the floor, so I'm going to push into the floor with my left. Fold down and in. Rolling up. All right. Pigeon variation number 1. So bending in the left, climb through our little window, and just a little bit of pressure might be enough. Try to keep that foot flexed just to protect the knee joint. Option for the push. Right, so pushing into the heel creates a little bit of space within the left hip joint, so explore that. Send your body weight a little deeper in. And last few breaths. If you took the twisted variation, come to the sole of the left with the elbow, coming into a spiral. Continue to try to drop your left knee towards the floor. One more breath. And release slowly. Slide back. The leg extends. Remember, we're going into our second pigeon variation. Turn into your knee. Pivot to face the other direction. Actively push into your fabric. Lift the chest up. Coming up onto fingertips or fists. Press into the fabric as the navel draws in. Roll the hip towards the ground. Really see if you could find the depth within that hip flexor. Look to the opposite shoulder. One more breath in. Exhale, coming down if you choose. Sleeping pigeon, few breaths here. Keep your hips square to the ground. Micro movements if you're feeling discomfort. And rise up. Palms. Drop your hips to the side, then swing all the way back around. Removing the foot. You can keep your legs crossed. Taking another thoracic arch, come behind the shoulders. Nice and slow, drop back. Support your head. Maybe widen the elbows. Head is supported as you roll up. Fabric will come up and over. And find your way onto your knees. We'll take a double wrist wrap, so the right side comes to the outside and around the middle once, and then again twice. From here, you can just grip up on your fabric. I'm gonna allow myself to lean to the right, so right shoulder's gonna drop. Now if that's not too intense and you want more, left arm dives over, just giving you a little more weight. Actively shrug away from your ear. And unravel. Just slide the fabric down your hand. Come into a table-like position. Drop down onto your left forearm and then bend the right elbow. Letting the body weight sink, and then to go deeper into your trap, I want you to look to the left. Depending on how this feels, you can do a little rock, maybe letting your body weight shift ever so slightly to the right. Maybe moving in the head a bit, tucking your chin in deeper. And up. Double wrist wrap to the left from the outside around the middle once, twice, and then grab onto that fabric. Start by dropping the left shoulder. That's okay and you want more, dive deeper. Actively shrug that left shoulder away from the ear. And up. Let the left hand slide down. Table-like position. Right forearm, left elbow bends. Let your body weight get heavy at center. Begin to peek to the right. Nice tuck into the chin. See how it feels. And maybe just explore a little bit of movement, sending your body weight left. A little head nod, yes or no. This area always needs attention. Should probably be doing this every day. And begin to let the hips hinge back towards the heels. And release your grip. Hold on to the fabric like a little bar out in front of you. Stepping forward and through onto that right foot. A couple lunges into our half split Ardha Hamanasana, right? So if you need to pad your knee, now's a good time. Push into the fabric, lift the chest, and nice and slow, begin to push back. Drag the toes towards you and bow towards the foot. Arms extend forward, but tailbone is lifted. Inhale, rock through center. Right? Drop the hip, lift the heart. Micro movements side to side are encouraged too. Rolling up. Come into your forward lunge, and then I want you to pull back slightly. So coming out of your lunge, try a pelvic tilt. Draw the pelvis underneath, and now push forward. Fabric is going to come across. We want to go high with the left, low with the right. So I want you to focus on taking a little spiral here. Begin to look over that right shoulder. Left shin pushes into the floor. Nice lifted chest. One more inhale. Lift the heart. Come back to center. Right, half split variation. Foot is flexed. Hold that fabric with both hands. As you come forward, if you want to go a little deeper, let's try that scissoring effect. We're going to try to pull everything ever so slightly to the right and push your hips to the left. Float back to center and up. Left foot comes forward. We can just hold like a little bar in front of us. Chest is lifted. Come into your first low lunge. Down into the fabric. Keep pulling the heart forward. Try not to round your back. Tailbone lifts as you come into your half split, Ardha Hamanasana. Inhale through center. Down with the fabric. Pull back. Back and forth once more. All right, come into that forward lunge. Pull back slightly, right? So I want to make sure I'm nice and square. So hips pull back, pelvic tilt under, press the hips forward, come across your body. We're gonna go right hand high, left hand low. Look to the left. I'm actually gonna use my elbow in the doorway to help take me a little deeper. Right shin presses into the floor. Inhale. Exhale, draw the navel back nice and tight through your center. And slow release. Drag that heel on the floor, toes are flexed, come forward. Begin to push your hips towards the right. See if you can pull your hands to the left. Really try to lift the tailbone. Rolling up. All right, I'm hoping you're beginning to appreciate your doorway flow. To finish our practice, we're going to work on a little bit of traction and inversion, but first we'll do a little bit of back strengthening. So similar to what I would do in a downward facing dog, I'm going to come right onto my hip flexors and I'm right underneath my plumb line. So fold right down, forearms to the floor. And extend the legs back. We'll start by stacking the fists, so the palms to rest the forehead. The knees should be on the ground, and you should be able to feel as if you're just hanging in traction for a moment. So bring some spaciousness to the low back. Engaging the muscles of your back body, see if you can just bring your hands to the floor next to your shoulders. Think of almost like a cobra. I'm going to press the tops of my feet into the floor and begin to lift the upper body, right? So I'm actually just feeling what is almost like a cobra pose. Shoulder blades down the back, tops of the feet pressing into the floor, my entire back body is engaged. If you feel confident that you're not going to face plant, reach your arms back and float. You're engaging the muscles of your back body. Yes, a little bit of pressure on my hip flexors, but welcome to the joys of aerial yoga. Breathe in, try to get a little higher. And on the exhale, stack the fists. Let's let that low back release, tailbone high. Once more, start with the tops of the feet, fingers by your shoulders, by the sides, float up. You can hold here. You can reach your arms back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open chest. Feel your backside working, look down, not up. Give it one more breath. And on the exhale, palms or fists, relax. Hard work is over. Hands come to the shoulders and roll your way up. let's get ready to chill and hang, shall we? So I want you to find the two curly edges, bring them together. I like to keep the curly edges towards my thighs versus my low back. So I'm going to take a seat from here, climb into your hammock. Fabric should come right to the low back and begin to slowly lower to the ground. So you should be forward of your plumb line so that you don't have any excess pressure on your neck. Right now, the weight is falling to my shoulders and this feels actually really nice. So similar to a restorative bridge position. You can also just stay here if you want because it feels really nice. Just gonna rock a little bit. Now to take this into our little inversion, I'm just gonna kind of pull the fabric a little further up my thighs so I can move easier. Feet are gonna cross in front. Are my feet in there? Just barely. So one at a time, cross your feet in front. You should feel as if you're being cradled by the low back and you can just sink into gravity. If this feels good, you can also add a little twist, either just shifting your hips from side to side, or if you're in the doorway, you can really use your hands here to kind of push from one side over to the other. But at some point, I want you to just sink in. Hands can be by your sides, or I like a little more chest opening. Maybe arms can come up overhead or rest in a little cactus T position. Find some gentle micro movements or a little sway. And then eventually just let your body relax. Just feel completely supported by your hammock. And if your arms aren't overhead, just extend them overhead, coming back into that little sway or rock from side to side. One foot at a time, release. Find your way back into that little bridge-like pose. Maybe rock here too. You want to lift your chest first, so reach up for the fabric with your hands. Keep your head heavy as you begin to pull your way up to a seat. So hopefully I'm helping some of you get the most out of your fabric in a small space. If you know anyone who's reluctant to try aerial yoga because they don't have a place for it, maybe share this one with them. Hopefully I get to work with you soon in your fabric or just on your mat. And until then, a namaste.